Hello, this is Pico52, and this is the first tutorial of a series for Minecraft Dominion, wherein I will explain how the basic commands work, as well as the request system. Dominion's commands can be broken into two main categories, /dominion and /admin dominion, or /d and /ad for short. Most commands have aliases, such as /d and ad, that can make it easier to remember or is just faster to type. The first command, /dominion, which I will always refer to as /d for simplicity, is for all player-based commands. Everything to do with players runs through this command. Running this command on its own will display the usage, as shown, and all other subcommands underneath it. The second command, /admin dominion, hereon also referred to as /ad, is a command for all administrative commands. This is where the administrators can control basic functions of the game outside of modifying the configurations files directly. Running this command on its own will also display the usage and all other subcommands. Now, I'd like to talk about the first set of /d commands and the focus of our tutorial, requests. The request system is how the player interacts with other players or administrators for certain tasks to be done. In this example, I will show how a player makes the first step on a brand new server, which is how to request a new kingdom. I will then show how the administrator finds and accepts the request, as well as how to create a kingdom manually. Now, requests are separated into four categories: found, build, trade, and request. So, the first option, found, is for creating kingdoms or settlements. The second, building, is for requesting a new building to be added to an existing settlement. And then trade is for initializing trade between two settlements, and requests are for any other general issues, such as invitations to a kingdom or to become a liege. And that will be further explained later in other tutorials. So for now, we're going to use a command /d space list kingdom, and what list does is it will list a specific entity in all of those that exist. So right here are all of the kingdoms that are currently on this server. There's only two, Concorum and Pandemonium, and it also displays the ID. More information on list will be added later. Now, what we are looking for is the command /d found. And you can see the usage is brought up immediately and tells you that it founds a new kingdom or settlement. So we'll do kingdom, and that will tell you that you also need a name. So let's try found kingdom Concorum, which we know already exists, but we'll try it anyway. It already exists, so we can't do that. So now I'll try found kingdom, terrible name. This is just a terrible name, something that administrators would not like. We're going to do that, and it's been requested, and you can do up just to bring back the last command you did. Excuse the music, I forgot to turn the game music off. Alright, so let's also try good name. This is a name that the admins will like, or is acceptable. So that's also been requested. Now, the administrator can be anyone currently that is an operator. In future patches, hopefully soon, players will have their own specific Dominion ability to be an administrator. So, right now, any op can use any admin command, and the one we're using is requests. And when you log in, you will see that you have certain requests pending. So if you're an administrator, you'll see, oh, there's 2 requests pending for admins and 0 requests for users. So here's the requests. I have ID 20 and 21 from Pico52, which is me, to the admins requesting for found kingdom, and here's the name, terrible name and good name. So what we want to do is we're going to deny that terrible name. So we're just going to do requests 20, and then we can do deny. It's gone. So we don't have to worry about that terrible name. Also, if you put in just the number, then it will display that information for that request. So if someone says, hey admin, I have a request for you, it's ID number such and such, can you take a look at it? You can, if you have a lot to go through, you can just put that exact number in and you'll have that information. So now we want to accept this one. Request 21 accept. What this will do is it will automatically create the kingdom and set Pico 52 as the monarch. It's been accepted. Now if we look at the list of kingdoms again, and note that it is kingdom and not kingdoms, because this is exactly how it appears in the database, and right now it doesn't know the difference, so everything is singular, it's just kingdom. There's a good name. So we have that. Let me just look through this real quick. So now we want to make a settlement. So we're going to want to first check the settlements that exist. Remember, L is short for list, so that's why the L. We have two settlements named Concorum and Pandemonium. It is quite common to have the same name of a settlement as your kingdom. That's perfectly fine. Dominion doesn't know the difference, or it does know the difference rather, and will not throw an error. So let's try to found settlement Concorum. Again, it already exists, so it knows not to make another settlement. And we'll make the found settlement good name. So that's been requested. Again, an administrator can look in the requests, see number 22, it's good name. AD request 22 accept list settlement, and there it is. And it's classified automatically as a town. More information on how to update that information will be done later. So now we have a settlement, and also it should be noted that that town is at the exact location that you make the request. So if we do info good name, you'll see that the x coordinate and the z coordinate is exactly where I am standing. And so you can see what I just did. I did slash the info good name, and that will give up the information of that town. So, and you'll see basic information like where the biome is, which we don't have right now. We can set that later. Other stuff. I will be going over all that in probably the next tutorial, actually. So now we have that settlement, and we want to build a building. So it's telling me that I need a building type, a settlement, an optional level. When I have the parentheses around something like level, that means it's optional. If there's brackets, that means it's absolutely necessary. So, let's say I just built something. I built this market. And so these are all the specifications of the market. It has to have, like, you know, a counter, an employee area, smug looking guy who won't even turn around to see what I want. You know, typical market. So I want to request this market to be added. So I'm going to stand right in front of it. I'm going to say d build market. And this is for, we'll say good name, despite it being for Concorum, but for tutorial purposes we'll say good name. So the level will be 1 unless I specify otherwise. So let's say it's 5. That's going to be our request. It's for level 5. I'll also put in a request without anything. Now, the admin can look at this request, and see the coordinate. Now notice the coordinate is displayed here. In the future patches, the admin will be able to teleport directly to that coordinate. That way they can look at it immediately, figure out if they want to accept it, decline it, whatever. So that will be done later. So now you can also see the level. They want a market to be built, and you know that because it says build_market. And they said it's level 5, they being me, of course. So this obviously is not a level 5, this is only a level 1 market. So we're going to do 80 requests, 23 deny. But we're going to accept 24 because 24 is level 1. So maybe someone put in a request that's like, oh, I accidentally put in level 5, I meant to put in 1, so they can put in another, and there you go. You can also look at requests, there we go. It should be noted that I accidentally put in an S, and that's what happens. Sometimes there's an exception if it doesn't exist. So what exists here is request. And there's no request right now. So we have that building. I can do LM, which means list my. And there it is, number 13 is the market. And this information will have more information later. Right now, LM is not very useful in that aspect. So we have buildings. They're not employed. Employment I'll talk about later when I actually talk about buildings specifically. It'll probably be my 3rd tutorial. And now we want to look at requests. Actually, no, let's look at trade. Trade. Right now I have a trade route going between Concorum and Pandemonium, and it's producing both, for both of us, 10 wealth each turn. So let's try trade. Good name. Well, let's just show you this first. Yeah, it tells you from settlement and target settlement. Now, trade, good name, and Concorum. So there is now a request between those two places. So now I can see in normal Dominion command, so this is a player command, not admin, I can check my requests. And there it is, from Pico 52 to Pico 52. Right now that means saying it wants a trade between object ID 4 and object ID 1. That'll be updated to be actual names. But for now, we can see that the ID is right here. So you can have a slight workaround for now and see that ID number 1 is Concorum and ID number 4 is good name. So you'll see that's what the request is for. So I'll do request 25 accept. And there we go. Now there's a trade between good name and Concorum. So that leaves the last category of just simple requests, which can allow you to do kingdom invite, kingdom request, liege invite, or liege request to a player. And what that means is that you can invite a player to join your kingdom. You can request a player that you join their kingdom, that's what the request means, or liege, you can become their liege by inviting them, or that you can request that someone becomes your liege. And how you can see who is what, who belongs to what, you can do the who is command and type the name, and there we go. I'm not actually registered to a kingdom right now, I'm not registered to a liege, that's what null means, and settlements, Concorum, Pandemonium, and Good Name all belong to me, and I have 11 buildings amongst all of them, so that's what whois does. And that's what requests do. So that's it for the request system. More tutorials will be created soon. Please hit like and subscribe to the channel so that you know when new videos come out. Also, please like Dominion on Facebook at facebook.com/MinecraftDominionMod. Thank you.